How's it going, guys? This is Vola, and I just wanted to make a quick video talking about leading a group of players into a fortress. This tutorial will be a little more advanced than the last one I made, so I'm going to try and break it up into two parts, early game and late game. So sit back, listen up, and let's hop right in. The first thing I want to talk about, and I cannot stress this enough, is to never, ever break the gates in the beginning. I know they give you siege tanks, but just remember to only crack the gates to allow troops to slip in. If the gates are destroyed, the extra tickets will then be placed onto B point, making it close to impossible to siege. With that in mind, make sure to bring heavy weapons to deal with the quad guns. These pose a very real threat and can easily repel an organized group when they try to secure the wall. Make sure to keep an eye on those even after they're destroyed, because they do respawn after a short time. Having that in mind, the next step is to secure the walls. This is key to the final phase of the assault because it allows you to bleed the tickets in a slightly more controlled area. Just remember to push as a group and to have heavies and supports to really help you dig in when you try to secure them. Remember to slowly sweep across the walls and always check behind you. The enemy can spawn directly on these, so it can leave you and your group very vulnerable. Once you have secured a foothold, make sure to bleed their tickets. If you can drain 10 lives a minute, you should be okay. This step should never be overlooked because it is key when pushing to the final point. Once the lives on the walls have been drained, make sure to inform the others that the gates need to be destroyed. This allows the transports to slip by and get as close to A point as possible. Remember to take your time once the area is secure and evaluate the situation. If A is heavily fortified, make sure to coordinate assaults from multiple sides and be sure to make each push count. Normally, the defenders will have supports inside to help reinforce it, so be sure to have your team prioritize these targets, and never start the cap on A point until all lives have been bled. They transfer over to B point once it is captured. Once A point is about 3/4 of the way through, make sure to have all players move transports to B point. And always watch for AV in the field. Every second counts during a fortress, so be sure to mobilize quickly. Now that we got the fun part out of the way, the real challenge happens. Sieging B point. This is that later part in the game I was talking about. The B point is always the most difficult to assault because of the condensed space. This allows the defending players to keep a constant stream of fire to ensure that your push is slowed. In order to counter this, you have to be ready to use jump classes and artillery weapons to breach and harass the back lines. After the players are ready and pushing in, make sure to advance slowly and try to gain footholds whenever possible. Take the fight in waves. Your first focus should be clearing the outside, then setting up a foothold indoors, and then finally pushing for the point. Take advantage of the cover that B point has and make sure to have supports to help you and your team along. To help with this, make sure to inform your jump classes and artillery players to keep constant pressure on the heavies. They shouldn't focus on getting kills, but instead focus on disrupting the heavy fire so that the rest of your team can push in. This step is key to winning on any fortress and is possibly the most overlooked step during a siege. Now, the likelihood of being able to bleed all the lives before time runs out is rather slim. So be sure to keep constant pressure on the backline, and before you try to take the point, inform your team in order to help speed up the capture process. Be sure to ask for people to body block the one securing the point. The best time to do this, in my opinion, is at 1.5 to 2 minutes. Now, the last thing I'll leave you with is after the cap has started, make sure to keep a constant eye on the point. Players can always sneak in and decap even during the last few seconds of the match. Make sure to post melee classes around the point to interrupt anyone who tries to blitz in. One melee hit will stop the capture and buy your team just a little extra time. That just about sums it up, guys. Thank you for sticking with it till the very end, and I hope it helped. If you like this video, do please leave a like, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Take care, and happy leading.